Who knows what wrestling's going to be there in a year there. They went from like, we're using all our guys to this and this and that to like, they've hired they had Daniel Bryan's or Bryan Danielson and CM Punk and who else? The stars are coming in.
Adam Cole, Bray Wyatt.
Adam Cole, Raymond saying Bray Wyatt's coming. I guess that's a rumor, right? So it sounds like they're filling up the rosters with the other guys that are established somewhere else. And I guess you said they have their own show, and you said it, Raymond, or you mentioned it, Universal. They're filming Universal,
The Dark, yeah.
The Dark, right? So I guess they got all this and this and that, but I'm thinking at some point a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, right? So
you think they're going to do a roster release on AEW?
How long can you pay all these people?
If you're Tony Khan, forever.
If you're a good businessman, and I'm not saying he's not a good person. Obviously, he's a good person. But a good businessman, or is Tony Khan's money his money, or is it his dad's money? Did Tony Khan invest some stuff, or is that his dad's money he's playing with? Dad, baby, I'm thinking, right? So how long does they go, okay, son, enough's enough. There was a tax write-off. Now it's becoming it's like that movie, what was that, Money Pit, Money Pit. I was just like, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not, everything I hear about Tony Khan is he's a tremendous individual. And everybody goes there, of course they're going to like him when he says, yeah, do what you want. That's great. Like, sure, you have ideas. If somebody tells you your ideas are great when you've been shit on by Vince McMahon the whole time, like, no, I don't see that happening, or tell you, yeah, maybe, and then you go there and it's totally been rewritten. You believe all the way up to like 2 days before the pay-per-view you're doing this, and you're like, no, you're not working here. We're pulling that, and that does happen there. That does happen a lot there. You don't have that kind of creative control that they're giving them AEW, so of course they're all happy. But by far, I'm not saying he's a bad person at all. I think he's probably an amazing human being from everything I've heard from anybody. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him that I know personally that have exchanges with him. My exchanges weren't bad with him. He was great with me. How long can you do business? You got to answer to the numbers at some point. I mean, you could be a billionaire, but at some point, somebody's going to tell you got to answer to the numbers. You got an accountant or somebody that's going to tell you, hey, you got to cut some dead weight because we need money to go overseas here. We're going to need money here. So if you let these 30 people go, like, what are they even doing? They're on Dart. What are they? And these were the people that he probably said, oh, no, we're going to build a company, and it just didn't work like that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We all have hopes and dreams, and I know you're a good person just from some of the stuff I know you, but even today, just you're worried about somebody that, you just carry other people's weight. You're carrying it to the point that affects your life, and I'm sure that Tony's like that too. I'm sure that because he told somebody, oh man, we're gonna do this and that, and they're there. He probably sits up. Whether that person, nobody in the rest of the world knows that person. He probably sits up at night going, man, I can't let him down. I can't cut this guy. But numbers say, are you using this guy? Is that what we need to be doing? You need to cut this guy or cut that guy or cut 30 of these guys and invest the money in the other way to make the company successful more so you can come back and pick those guys back up again later when they're ready.
Right.
When they're ready. So, you got to make decisions like that. You can't just run with your heart. You can't run a company with your heart and you got to run it with a business module, or it doesn't matter how much money you have. I'll say that to the day I die. And I've on such a minute level, trying to run a school and shows and stuff like that, and people just, oh, can I work a show? And they just show up, and you're like, oh, and you've written the thing out. You've written out a 3-month program. This isn't even TV. You just did this for your student shows. You've written out a 3-month program. You're like, wait, this messes the flow of the show up. This kills the budget this way. And now I got to take from this to add to this, take time from that. And it's not. You got to have a business model, and you got to stick to it. You have to learn no. You got to learn to be able to say no. Not like, no, you're an old guy, and I'm not being bitter or something like that, because they didn't say that. But it's probably been thought. But, these young guys. But you got to know when to cut, reevaluate, and say, we're going to loop back to you again because we want to invest here to be able to grow in a positive way. Not just keep throwing money to keep growing. It just doesn't make sense.
Fair enough. Yeah,
right?
This is another only time will tell scenario.
Yeah.
Because it's still so young, It's still a baby.
And I'm not knocking it by no means. And I almost feel crappy that I gotta say that I'm not knocking it because it's like a PC world, but no, it's not. You gotta run it in a business. You gotta run it.
You have to say it because someone could take what you said out of context, and then you can be like, "Look what I said."
Yeah, this is not that case at all because I've had nothing but good experiences with them and stuff. But I'm just looking at it as a business sense. Everybody's upset with WWE cutting all these budgets. I mean, even catering, I thought that was like, wow. I mean, they're cutting catering, but I guess deep down inside, do I get it? I guess if you're answering to a bunch of other shareholders and a bunch of other people, you got to answer to the numbers. It's a business. Now, when Vince McMahon owned it, he would lend you money. You could go up to him before it was all corporate and stock and all that. If you were working for him and you said, man, I got behind on my mortgage, I had to pay for my mom's funeral or whatever happened, some disaster, something horrible or whatever, you're in a spot, whatever it is, he'd personally lend you money and then take it out of your checks throughout a period of time while you worked there. Whether that's good or bad for you, I don't know, because he has something on you. In a business sense, but that option was there, and that's because it was family, man. He owned it. Now you're answering to people numbers. Now Tony Khan is a family thing, but at some point it's a business. At the end of the day, and the end of a fiscal year or annual, whatever, there's numbers to be answered to, and demands and expectations from everybody. So. You can throw money and almost fix anything, but it's going to catch up to you somewhere. It's going to catch up. But enough of my rantings about that.